Hey, what's going on? In this box is the Yadea Trooper-01 e-bike. I'm gonna take it out, put it together, and review it, so stick around. I don't have any tools on me, so hopefully it comes with everything it needs. And this is the easiest unboxing because I actually had to take it out of the box earlier to move it because the state of the box when it came shipped wasn't that great. But other than that, I haven't done anything. So let's take a look at this thing. Looks like it's got the nice fat 4x20" tires. This is kind of unique though. The battery is already added to the bike. Usually it comes in a separate compartment. And I think this is where the chargers and the keys and all that good stuff is. There's an Allen wrench right there. I don't even have to cut it open, stuff's just falling out. I don't think it's how the manufacturers put the bikes together. I mean, maybe it is, but in a lot of cases, they travel pretty far, get kind of tossed around. So let's take a look at what's in here. Got your pedals, those are necessary. A couple of keys for the battery. It's got this dual-sided screwdriver, actually. So you got your Phillips end and your flathead, a wrench, and then 2 Allen wrenches or Allen keys. So looks like we have everything to set it up. Let's give you a closer look here. We got the all black, as you can see by my freshly painted wall. I'm doing some renovations and I love the color black. Can't wait for that to be done. One thing that's unique about this bike, and one of my favorite accessory companies for Super 73, I feel like kind of pioneered this, but something that is unique is this carrying basket. This one is made of plastic, but the company I'm talking about is Irv Labs. They make one out of metal and powder coat it and stuff. So you've probably seen this before, but this one comes with a basket. Again, that one's plastic, but probably comes in handy. And then of course you got your charger here. It's like a nice solid charger. Let's see what it charges at. 2 amp hours. So probably looking at about a 6-hour charge time. Can't see that right away, but we'll get the battery on the charger because I need to ride this thing for the review. In fact, let's do that right now. Just unlock it and slide it back nice and easy. Wasn't bad at all. I actually have a few batteries charging right now. You know, something that would be nice is if there was like a universal connector to chargers, so that, you know, like a USB-C or something, so that all these bikes, now that I think about it, I'm not like your average e-bike owner. I think most people might only buy 1 or 2 bikes. I guess for people like me who get sent bikes to review, it would be nice to have a universal end to the charger, so that, you know, I don't have to go digging through a bunch of chargers to charge up some bikes. But this charger is kind of unique in that it has, you know, a different kind of design. It says SANS on it. Other than that, it seems like a typical charger, but we'll get it plugged in. Nice bright green LED light, and it looks like you don't have to turn the battery on for it to charge. All right, let's get to the rest of this. Yeah, I like the all black. I just think black is classy. Has nothing to do with the nature of my soul. Also, when you get new e-bikes, it looks like there is some grease on this chain, but that might be something to consider, is making sure your chain's greased up. Let me flip this thing around because this kickstand is interesting. It's more horizontal than most kickstands I've seen. Should probably leave the padding on while I'm, you know, putting stuff together, because you never know when you're gonna ding something, but I think we'll be all right. The handlebars are that original Super 73 S1 style with the square frame. That's what that reminds me of. I don't think Super 73 pioneered that style, but that's what it reminds me of anyway. You know, there's a lot of e-bikes coming out that are looking somewhat similar to Super 73s. Be interesting to get Super 73's take on that. We'll let that hang for just a second. Gonna grab my Allen key. Also, if you plan on unboxing a lot of e-bikes, I would recommend getting a torque wrench. The bigger one's the right one. Probably like a 6mm. Anyway, a torque wrench is going to make sure that your handlebars don't move on you when you're riding. That's actually happened to me before. It was kind of embarrassing because it was at a slow speed. Good thing it was, but I went over the handlebars. Again, this is the Yadea Trooper-01. I use the battery tray to hold my bolts here. Get this mounting plate off. Ooh, this one's in here pretty good. It is nice that the tires came pre-installed, the front tire anyway. Usually that comes not installed. Alright, if you're new around here, this is like one of your first e-bike unboxings and you're looking to get an e-bike. When you put this plate on, make sure that you tighten it in a crisscross pattern. So make sure you tighten all sides evenly, all four corners. And then again, this is where a torque wrench comes in handy. Different manufacturers have different specs. I'd need to look through the manual on this one. They're expensive, they're like $70. I'll link one down below if you're interested. But if you plan on doing a lot of stuff like this, I've used it on several occasions. Alright, let's see how this feels. It's pretty good right there. Make sure it's centered. Probably shouldn't say this, but probably won't keep this reflector on here. With the headlight and the tail light, I think I'll be fine. Yeah, let's take this reflector off. Alright, the handlebars are on. Then you have these Hygo connectors. And you just match the colors, pretty easy. Red to red, green. Where is green? Two. Oh, there's two reds, what? There's a green. Two reds, one green, it looks like. Probably for the reds are probably for the brake sensors. That cuts off the motor when you're hitting the brakes. I just don't see the other red end. There we go. We're good there. These are kind of interesting. They're cable management clips, and there's some that are already installed on the bike, but it has like two smaller ends for your smaller cables, a big one for like your bigger brake cable. So we could utilize those to clip some stuff together. I've usually just seen the Velcro ones. All right, let's unveil this front suspension here. RST shocks? I don't know much about these ones, but RST shocks come on like your Calarias and stuff too. So that should be a decent shock. This feels spring loaded. They're not adjustable though, but that's a known name. Yeah, I don't see any adjustment settings. Pretty basic. I mean, this bike is $2,000, which isn't cheap. Definitely cheaper than even some of your basic Super 73s like the ZX. Throw some pedals on, and I think we're done. Just gotta look for the left and the right. They have a little R on the threaded end here, so that's my left side. Actually, no matter how many times I do this, I usually get it wrong. Yeah, left turns opposite, and it comes with a little wrench to finish the job. This isn't a bad looking bike, the Yadea Trooper-01. I like the profile of it, but let's take it out into the grass and get a closer look and talk about some of the specs. Again, this is the Yadea Trooper-01. If you remember from a few videos back, this actually isn't my first Yadea product that I have reviewed. They sent me their Elite Prime scooter, which I was actually super impressed with. And so this bike should be pretty impressive too. Now, I said it was around $2,000. I think on their site right now it's going for $2,200, but they have some instant discounts. So that puts it right in the range of the Super 73 ZX. So not bad. The difference between this and a ZX is this does have rear suspension. It also has hydraulic disc brakes with a nice big rotor there. I think that's 180 millimeter. Has this nice little carrying basket. You know, it might be handy just to carry your charger around in it too, especially if you plan on doing a lot of commuting. Has a lovely Class 2 20-mile-per-hour e-bike sticker there. With the 750 watt motor, I don't know that that's peak. I'm sure it goes higher for peak performance, but I won't really know until I ride it. I couldn't see anything on their website. I do like the idea of some rear suspension. Looks like it's all spring and non-adjustable. And then of course we have some non-adjustable RST shocks there. This headlight, nice and chunky, but it has the form of the Yadea logo on it right in the middle of the headlight, which I think is cool. And it looks like it has some reflectors on the inside as well. So I took off that front handlebar reflector. I don't really see any screw ports for accessories. Maybe the site will come out with some accessories, but not really anywhere to add baskets or bags or anything like that. But of course it already has its own basket, so maybe that's what they're banking on. It does have a rear tail light. We'll check that out once I put the battery on the bike. And then the seat actually looks nice and comfortable. I wheeled it over here next to my Super-73 S2, my original, my one true love, the bike that started it all. And as more bikes come out that are competing with the Super-73, it's interesting to compare the differences. Now height-wise, it looks like the Yadea does sit a little bit lower than the Super-73 S2. Also, it looks like the bracket for the pedals on the S2 sit a little bit further forward than on the Trooper-01. So we'll see what those ergonomics are like. You know, now that I think about it, with the Super-73 ZX, it doesn't come with front shocks either unless you get the Adventure Series. Cockpit-wise, you have your headlight, you have a horn, and you have your display and controls on the right-hand side, which is new to me. I'm used to having all of that over here on the left-hand side, but doesn't look like there'll be a need to do any switching or anything. And then you have a thumb throttle. That has a lot of movement in it, not play, but a lot of range for full throttle. So thumb might get a little tired there. We'll see about that. The grips feel good. You just cover the ends of the bars. We gotta take this thing for a ride to really know how it is. Taking a look at the display of the Trooper-01, you have eco mode, mid, and high, and that just is your acceleration. Top speed on this thing is about 20 miles an hour. As you can see, I've already put some miles on it. I've been riding it around a little bit, but I am going to take this out and show you guys what it can do. All right, first things first, acceleration on this is actually really good. You can get into the settings and play around with it and adjust the sensitivity. The acceleration is nice, plus I'm on the throttle going up this steep hill. It's hard to tell in the video that it's steep, but it climbs it just fine. So this fits perfectly into that class 2 e-bike category where it maxes out at 20 miles an hour. It has pedal assist and a throttle. Yadea is keeping in compliance with local laws in most areas. In fact, even for me to ride on these trails, I have to be in compliance. I think cities are starting to crack down on e-bikes, but you know, the tires are mostly street. They have enough tread for trails, so I feel pretty comfortable riding up this trail, and it's doing it with no problem, especially, you know, with a little bit of pedal assist here. Also, I have the dual shocks. Nothing like an RST fork. Let's open it up here on this dirt road. Yeah, you get up to 20 miles an hour, well, 19.8, no problem. So you have some off-road capabilities here. Also, I was riding this last night, and I wasn't sure about the headlight. It didn't seem that bright at dusk, but once it was dark in my town, these headlights actually illuminated the whole street. I kind of wondered if it might be bright for oncoming traffic. I don't know, but no problems riding this at night, especially because you have the nice headlight and then also tail light with braking lights on it. So I would not hesitate to ride this at nighttime. It does great. Also, having that dual suspension is very nice. And the max weight on this is about 330 pounds. So it accommodates some larger riders. One thing I did notice, like I pointed out on my Super-73 versus this, is the the crank arm bracket, whatever that's called, bottom bracket, is set a little bit back, so you feel like you're kind of on top of your knees, but I'm 5'9", so it's pretty comfortable. I don't know about taller riders, but for me it's good. The seat is nice and cushy, nice and comfortable. Let's hit one more trail. And it fits, or it sounds like any other 750 watt rear hub motor. It's just got that little whine. Hey, no problem going up that. A little more off-road here. I can hear the suspension hitting. I don't feel it as much. The suspension on this isn't adjustable. Oh, geez. This is a good e-bike if you need something to get around town and do a little off-road adventuring. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this. Yeah, it caps out at that 19.8 pretty quick. It would be nice to go faster on this thing, but we're kind of in the wild west of e-bikes. Kind of like the early drone days. Nobody really knows what the regulations should be. Personally, I think you should go as fast as the motor allows, but I know that kind of messes with motorcycle categories, and you have pedals, and who knows. Just ride it like you want to. So for $2,200 you get a lot of features. You get hydraulic brakes, you get dual shocks by RST, you get this cool little basket, 750 watt motor, 48 volt battery, 20 amp hours. That battery size is comparable to a Super 73. The tires are 4x20. It's got that fat tire feel. Yeah, you get a decent bike. Very nice, comfortable ride. I think the two cons of this bike are, one is it'd be nice if the pedals weren't so much underneath you, bringing your knees up to the chest. Not a deal breaker, especially for me, because I like to ride with the throttle more than I do pedal assist, and I wish it went faster, but they have their reasons. But performance-wise, I'm pretty satisfied. And now the moment that some of you have been waiting for those of you who entered my helmet giveaway, I will announce the winner. And thank you, Yadea, for sending the Trooper-01 to check out and ride and review. Very impressive. Along with the Elite Prime scooter that I reviewed a few weeks ago. Both awesome products. Definitely a company worth keeping on your radar. They've been in the business for a long time. And with scooters and bikes, I think they're starting to break out. And there you have it, the Yadea Trooper-01. Now this bike boasts 25 miles of range on throttle and just over 50 miles using pedal assist, which is right on par with bikes, you know, that are a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery. So that's a pretty impressive range. Again, it's comfortable, you got your full suspension, you've heard me say that before. With that being said, I'll have a link to purchase the Yadea Trooper-01 down in the description below. Again, thank you so much for sending it to me to check out. And if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button, comment down below, let me know what you think about the Yadea Trooper-01. What other e-bikes does it compete with? What do you think about the price point? Let me know. And of course, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day.